Oh yeah, how you doing? Since the last video, the one where I put the rear suspension in with twin leaf springs and upgraded bump stops, I've had a couple of trips. I went to the Scottish borders and then I went to North Yorkshire, and the van's driving great. I thought it was good before, but it's like driving a hovercraft now. It's really good. No bumps, no squeaks. Rides all uneven ground, fine. So that's that one done, but there's something else happened. The reversing camera has stopped working. Now, I don't know if any of you use reversing cameras. I used to drive a 57-seater coach without one, so I can get by without it, but once you've used it, they're really handy. And one minute it was working and the next minute it wasn't. It started with like a psychedelic squiggle. Now it's just gone to a blue screen with a signal saying no signal. So in this video I'm going to try and see what I can find and see if I can rectify that. Now the problem is I didn't fit it. It was already in the van when I bought the van. So I don't know where they've picked up lives from. I don't know which way they've routed the wires, and if I'm honest, I don't even know how a reverse camera works, so it's all going to be new. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the garage and have a look, see what I can find. Well, as I said yesterday, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I thought the most sensible thing was to have a look to see if there was any obvious damage where I might have reversed into some overhanging branches or tree or something like that, but as you can see there's no damage, no obvious damage that I can see. Now, I didn't say yesterday, I don't have any instructions. There was no instructions came with it when I bought it. I don't even know what make it is because there's no identification on the camera or the monitor to tell me what system it is. Now, as you can see, to save drilling a hole in the body, is whoever fitted it has just cut a hole, a piece out of the lens of the centre brake light, and the wires go behind there. So next step is to take the lens off and see what's behind there. Right, I think I've found the reverse camera wires. I couldn't film it because I'm at the top of some steps and I needed two hands, but these are the wires that I found. Now you'll notice that one of them hasn't got any wires in it. Now sometimes in the motor trade, in cars and vans, they do that and they put extra wires in, possibly for a different model or just an auxiliary wire, so you can't assume that that needs a wire in it. It probably does, but you can't assume it. So I'm about as far as I can go today. I'm gonna go away and go on the internet and possibly go to some places and talk to some people and find out if there is supposed to be a wire in there. It was very difficult because I don't know the make of the camera or the system. Right, what I forgot to say was, when I first was fishing for the wires, they would only come out a couple of inches, and I was trying to move them with my finger and the screwdriver to get them to come out. All of a sudden it came a bit slacker and that much wire came out. So there's a good chance that I might have pulled the wire out, but it must have been pretty loose for it to come out because I wasn't pulling hard. But yeah, I might have pulled that out. Now I've had a look with the torch and everything in there, and I can't see any wires that might have fell out. So we're not really that much further forward. But I'll do my original plan. I'll try and go on the internet and speak to some people. Okay, it's 24 hours on from the last clip, and I've been talking to some people and I've been on the internet. I've managed to download a couple of wiring diagrams for reversing camera circuits, but I don't know if they're the same as mine. They all look pretty much the same, and from what I can make out, there should be a wire in that red connector that's there. The red is the feed and earth to the camera. The yellow is the video feed to the monitor. So it needs a live and an earth, and it's not just a live like most things on a car where you just put a live in and it earths through the body of whatever it is. This is a live and an earth, probably in case it's mounted to a plastic bumper. Anyway, who knows, it is a live and an earth. The middle part of it is the live and the outer casing is the earth, pretty much like an aerial, coaxial on an aerial. And I managed to buy this connector from a electronics shop, nothing to do with cars, but to do camera equipment, and I'll try and show you that. Is that focusing? Now the reason I bought this is, my plan is, rather than taking all the trims out to try and find the wire that came out, because I've had all sorts, screwdrivers, everything in, I can't find the wire. So rather than take all the wooden trims out to find it, to trace it, I'm going to put a new supply in. So I've got some live and earth wire and that connector, and I'm going to try and fish it through to the offside rear door post, where I'll connect it into a live there. The only thing is, the live has to be live while the ignition is on and go off when the ignition is off, or else your camera will be live all the time. Something else I've seen on the wiring diagrams, some of the wiring diagrams, I think it's at the front though on the monitor, they've got a trigger wire, and that goes to the reverse light switch on the gearbox, and that turns the system on when you put it into reverse. Mine, I know, didn't have that on because I had to turn it on manually, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm on a, as I say, route the wires through there. I might just connect them into the reverse lights just for quickness, which wasn't the way it was before, because I could turn the reverse camera on when I was driving. If I thought a car was too close or to see who was behind me, I could put the camera on when I was going forwards. If I do that, I won't be able to do that anymore. I'll only have the camera on when it's in reverse. But I think the most important thing is to get it working anyway, and for quickness, because I'm going on a trip in 2 days time, I'll probably connect it into the reverse light switch. Not to the reverse light switch, to the reverse lights. I'll just put a Scotch lock on to the live at the reversing light, and I'll put a separate earth on, but not on that connector end, on the other end, and that'll work. Well, if that's the fault. Well, I might have had the most extraordinary stroke of luck. I've took the panels off here, and that wire there, I think, might be the wire that goes to there. I can't check for continuity because I can't get to the other end, but that is live when the ignition is on, and it goes dead when you turn the ignition off. And I can't think of anything else that I might have put in here. I thought it might have been the 12 volt pickup that I used for the DVD next to the bed, but of course that's live all the time. It wouldn't be no point having that if it went off when the ignition was turned off, so it's none of that. So I can't think of anything else, so I've got a feeling that is the feed for the camera. So it's a shame I can't find the other bit that came off, but next best thing is I'll put a new feed in. Now what I've done is I've put a you know, you can see that I've put a welding rod through, and even that went through first time, and I've taped it to there. So if I pull that, you'll see, well, I hope you can see that that's connected to that. Now it was a bit of an awkward job getting the masking tape on, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes off when I pull it through. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down somewhere because I can't pull it through with one hand, and see if the cable comes through. Right. Fingers crossed that's pointing where it should be. Now, there we go. Well, that went quite well. I hope you got that. I can't believe this. Less than 5 minutes after the last clip, I was just going in to connect the new wire up, and I just touched it with my hand and it came through. That's the bit you could see before, and it had that end on. So I've just plugged it into the reversing camera. Mind, it's not routed in yet. It's still, well, you can see it's not routed in yet, but that's the wire that I couldn't find, and it was just behind the doorpost, and I plugged it in just to try it, and look at that. I absolutely can't believe it. So my reverse camera is working again. I'll just turn the ignition off. The camera is working again, so I'm really over the moon about that. But I don't know how I'm going to get that along there, because as you can see, the wire is not very long, so I might have to put a piece in, but at least I know what the problem is now. So I'll just put it back together and I'll show you later. Well, that's it through, and that's how much spare wire I've got. What's that, 2-3 inches? The people who fitted it were skimping with the wires. They should have made the wires longer than that, but it's fixed. I'll just box it up now. Well, what a strange job that turned out to be. Sod's law, I couldn't have found that wire on the first day. I don't know how it got in the doorpost. I was looking up where the light was. And all that, downloading wiring diagrams and going around talking to everybody and buying the wire and the connector, all for nothing. But I suppose the most important thing is it's working. And I wanted it working because in a couple of days' time I'm going to do the NC 500. And I know all the little roads where you can't get two cars past each other and you've got to pull in the little bays to let the car past. And if a motorbike or a car had pulled right up behind me that I couldn't see in the mirrors and I had to move back a little bit, that could have been awkward. But don't have to worry about that now. So it's all back together, it's all working. I hope the light is sealed because it wasn't letting water in before, but I've had to break the seal to get to the wiring. So I hope I've sealed that properly. So I'm ready for the off. So thank you for watching as always, and you take care, and I'll see you on the next one.